Hello everyone, my name is the Servant. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the new weapons in the Destiny 2 Season 13 Season of the Chosen. This includes, some trials weapons, playlist weapons, yada yada yada, activity, etc. This is going to be part 1 of 2 parts, so I hope you enjoy. Starting off with the Ticus Divination. It's an exotic bow with the perk Sacred Flame. Hip firing this weapon fires multiple tracking projectiles. Targets marked by these projectiles explode upon death or when struck by another Sacred Flame's explosion. Arrows fired while aiming down sights cause Sacred Flames to instantly detonate. And while it can do some decent damage in PvE, this perk is not that good. You can get some nice ad kills and defeat some ads, but that's about it. In PvP, it's just a subpar bow. It does have a catalyst right here, and if you do it, you'll get Casualty Quiver, perfectly drawn arrows that detonate Sacred Flames will increase arrow damage. Striking targets unaffected by Sacred Flame instead refreshes Casualty's arrows duration, and again, it seems just like another thing to help with its ad clearing, and it does not sound too powerful. Here we have the Messenger Legendary Kinetic Pulse Rifle. It is of the high impact frame, which is very good. It has 69 range, 59 stability, and only 37 aim assist, so it looks pretty decent all around. If we look at the perks, it does come with Desperado, which is the perk that is exclusive to the Redrix's Broadsword / Claymore. What Desperado does is reloading after a headshot kill greatly increases the rate of fire. It is an incredibly powerful and potent perk. I would definitely recommend Desperado among everything else here. If you really don't want to use Desperado though, I'd recommend Headseeker. In the second column, I would recommend Outlaw, as it just goes hand in hand with Desperado. But if you don't want to use Outlaw, you can use something like Dynamic Sway. Here we have the Igneous Hammer. It's a legendary energy hand cannon of the aggressive frame, means the 120. It's got 68 range, 42 stability, 95 recall, so that's really good, and it's got 69 aim assist. If we look at the perks, it does have some pretty decent perks with Rampage and stuff like Rapid Hit, or you could get Rampage Outlaw. If you want to run this gun in PvE, I would just recommend Outlaw One for All. Here we have the Soulless Scar Legendary Power Sword. It is the second caster frame in the game, meaning when you heavy attack, it will launch a projectile, kind of like Black Talon. It can be useful in PvP, not as much in PvE. Now, the perks, I definitely say this is a lot better of a weapon to use in PvP, and I would say use Assassin's Blade with something like Tireless Strikes, but if you want to use it in PvE, I would say, Tireless Blade and the Vorpal Weapon perk. This is the Shadow Price Legendary Energy Auto Rifle. It is a precision frame, meaning it fires at 450 rounds per minute. It has 67 range, 50 stability, 79 recall, and 43 aim assist. So it's got pretty mediocre stats. Now, if we go down, I definitely say this gun's going to be a lot more useful in PvE, just because it's an arc primary. And, PvP, there's a lot more kinetic primaries that are better than this. But if you want to run it in PvP, I definitely say Swashbuckler and Surplus. But for PvE, which is probably what this gun is going to be better for, One for All, Surplus, One for All, Killing Wind, One for All, for Eating Frenzy, one for all Overflow is probably your best bet. But if you don't want that, Dragonfly with any of the perks I just mentioned, or Swashbuckler. This is a Palindrome Legendary Energy Hand Cannon. It is a really good gun from the looks of it, and I would love to get my hands on a god roll on this. It is an adaptive frame, so it's a 140, which is the only 140 we have gotten this season. So far, everything's been a 120. It's got 55 range, 62 stability, 79 aim assist, 98 recoil, almost perfect. I can see this being a real competitor for stuff like Ancient Gospel or the Waking Vigil. Now, if we look at the perks are really nice for PvP. Stuff like, Outlaw Rangefinder, Outlaw Rampage, Killing Wind Rampage, Killing Wind Rangefinder. Stuff like that is going to be very powerful. I could see that in PvP. But if you want to run in PvE, I definitely recommend One for All or Rampage with the Overflow perk. This is the Swarm Legendary Power Machine Gun. It has 72 range, 39 aim assist, and 40 stability, 79 recoil. It's a high impact frame, so I definitely see this being better in PvE, just as like an ad clear gun, as most machine guns are right now. If we look at the perks, it has for PvE, One for All, Dragonfly, Vorpal Weapon, and then run that with Surplus. If not, if you want to run in PvP, Zen Moment Outlaw, Tap the Trigger Outlaw, Tap the Trigger Dynamic Sway, something along those lines. You could also run Killing Wind with something like Zen Moment or Tap the Trigger as well. This is the Time War Inspire Legendary Kinetic Pulse Rifle. It's a rapid fire frame. It's got only 33 range, 54 stability, 79 aim assist, and 60 recoil. So if you want to put a counterbalance stack on this, it will get 75, which should be better. Now, if we look at the perks, you can get Feeding Frenzy Rampage. If you do want that for PvE, you can also get Feeding Frenzy Vorpal, Feeding Frenzy, One for All. But I think this will be better as a PvP gun, so you could use Iron Gaze or Iron Reach for better stability or better range with something like Under Pressure or Moving Target. This is the Multimock CCX Legendary Kinetic Submachine Gun. It's in the lightweight frame, meaning it fires at 900 RPM, 36 range, 44 stability, 55 aim assist, and 100 recoil. Now, if we look at the perks, it's not as good as the same gun model, the Escape Velocity, but there are some decent perks on it. You can get Kill Clip with either Threat Detector, Dynamic Sway, or Killing Wind. You could get for PvP, you could get for PvE, One for All with probably just Threat Detector if you're running PvE. That's about it for this gun. This is the Salvager's Salvo, and I'm gonna say it right now, this is the Mountaintop 2.0. Not for PvP, but definitely for PvE. I can see this being much better, especially with the buff. Now, it is a lightweight frame grenade launcher, so it is a 90 RPM. It has 73 handling, and it's got 73 velocity. I mean, it's going to fire very fast. It also has 73 reload speed, so it's going to reload fast. With the buff, when you hit an enemy with a lightweight grenade launcher, it will explode immediately, meaning essentially every grenade launcher has the Mountaintop perk. Now, if we look at the perks, you're going to see why this is Mountaintop 2.0 right away. Crowd control, if you really want to do that, but definitely take Vorpal Weapon for PvE. It also has spike grenades, so you're going to do a lot of damage to majors and ultras, all of the bosses. You can now also have Ambitious Assassin or Demolitionist on it, so more grenades or more ammo. It's really just up to personal preference. And I can see this being a really good gun. It deals arc damage, so make sure you keep your eyes out for this. This is the Trident System Legendary Energy Fusion Rifle. It's an adaptive frame. It's got 45 range, 49 stability, 42 handling. Now, it does solar damage. It comes with some pretty decent PvP perks. I wouldn't say so for PvE, but it is an adaptive frame, so make sure you keep that in mind. Now, for PvP, you could get Swashbuckler, multi-kill clip, but I'll definitely say your best bet for PvP is going to be high impact reserves. If you want PvE, I would say something along the lines of Disruption Break, Wellspring, Probably the best bet being Disruption Break, though. I would say in the second column, you can get, Slide Shot if you want extra range and stability after a slide for PvP. Surplus, more stability and handling reload when you have your abilities. Killing Wind could also be nice, that or Under Pressure. What I will say is for PvE, you just want auto-loading holster here. This is the bottom dollar legendary energy hand cannon. It's an aggressive frame, and it has 64 range, 35 stability, 85 recoil, and 66 aim assist. I can see this being one of the better guns out there in the game if you can control it well. It deals void damage. Now, if we look at all the perks for this gun, you can see it's got some pretty nasty PvP perks. It also has some pretty decent PvE ones, but I would say it is on the PvP side of the spectrum. Now, immediately, I'm going to be looking at that Rampage to 2-tap, like an energy version of the True Prophecy. This is also now the third energy 120 that we have, which is pretty nice, along with the Trials hand cannon. Now, with the Rampage, like I said, you can 2-tap that, or if you want explosive rounds to get more range and just be a little more consistent, in my opinion, or opening shot if you really need it. Now, in the second column, I would say skip all the perks and go straight to rangefinder. Just, you can hit some ridiculous ranges with rangefinder on a 120. Now, for PvE, I would say Rampage or multi-kill clip. Probably Rampage being better, with something along the lines of Feeding Frenzy or Surplus. This is the third Axiom Legendary Energy Pulse Rifle. It's an adaptive frame, which means it shoots at 390 RPM. It has 54 range, 60 stability, 66 aim assist, and 74 recoil. Now, if we look at all the perks on this gun, it is, I would say, a lot more PvE oriented, but you can use it just as well, I would say, in PvP. Now, for PvE, One for All, Dragonfly, Vorpal Weapon, Rampage, even Disruption Break are all good perks that you can use, and then something like Feeding Frenzy or Surplus would be your best bet. Now, if you want to use this gun in PvP, I would say Multi-Kill Clip, Head Seeker, or Rampage would be some good perks to pick up, along with Killing Wind or Surplus. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my quick review of these guns. Thank you.